Now, so God, there you go, thank you. God lets stuff happen to us that we don't think is fair to toughen us up. Everything that's ever happened to me, I didn't like it. There's times when I'd be at work and they'd get a new piece of machinery, or they would get a new computer, or get something. I remember I had just come back to the warehouse. I'd been engineering for several years, and I had to come back to the warehouse because they were getting computers and robots, and they needed me there. And so there I was on my first, third shift, and they had new computers, and the guys I worked with in the shop, all of them had been to a 2-week class on how to work on this stuff. I get in, I haven't had the opportunity to even turn it on. It's holding up the whole process. I walk in and say it's down. And so I said, well, somebody needs to fix it. Y'all been to class, and they said, they gave me the book and said, you fix it. I said, but you're the ones that went to class. And they said, but you take care of the instrumentation and electrical. You take care of it. I said, but this is what you've trained for. They said, figure it out. So it took me an hour plus. But you know what? That hour plus, I just started getting it. You know what I'm saying? And by the time next morning, I was smoking. Just pure out smoking. You know, because it was simple to take care of it. Because even though I hated it, and I didn't want to be doing that and have that pressure on me, that the whole plant was shut down because the computer's down. But at the same time, by the time I got through, I was feeling a little. I was thanking God because I was praying the whole time. But also, I was feeling better because now I'm learning something about this piece of machinery. So every time something around, Brother Dudley, same way with you and your stuff over at PCS Electrical. When you got a chance to get on something you didn't understand or know at the time, once you got going, it made you feel good. That now I can, I'm not in the dark looking at this. Same way as y'all on your job. So sometimes God's just fixing you, putting you in a position. So you think you're in the dark, but you're not. He's going to enlighten you, but then you're going to use you to enlighten others.
And He'll make you do it.
And He'll make you do it. He is just, and He is fair. Okay?
He is strict.
And He is strict. He's a good Father. So, righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Psalm 89:14. So since He is just, He knows that all His rules and judgments toward everyone, including me, are fair. They're fair. I may want to say no, but they are. They're fair. Now, if somebody else tries to dole out something, I remember Bethany got suspended off the bus for a day because they said she was picking on people. I said, Bethany does not pick on people. She was in the 7th grade, I think. 6th grade, 7th grade. Mom had only been dead for a while. And they said, she's picking on people. And I said, well, how do you know that? The bus driver said, I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw her reach around behind her hitting somebody. She was suspended for a day. And I said, Bethany, what was going on? She said, the guys were picking on me, Dad. And I was just telling them to leave me alone. I said, okay. Well, don't just try to leave that alone, okay? So the next week, she gets suspended off the bus for 3 days. And the bus driver says, Bethany started the fight again. I said, I just don't believe Bethany started the fight. Then they come back and say, well, she's suspended for the whole year.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, why? And they said, because she was fighting. I said, well, I know my girl very strongly. I know my girl. And I said, I also realize that you have a tape system on that bus. So I want the tapes from those 3 days, please. And show me that she started it. And they said, we're sorry, Mr. Linton, the tape player the recorder's not working on that bus. I said, okay. So I went to the principal's office and I said, we got to talk. And he said, what you need to talk about? I never met this guy before. I said, we have got a serious problem here. I said, my daughter's being tantalized and being picked on and bullied, and y'all are going to make her pay the bill. And I said, it's not going to happen. Not today. And I reckon the daddy's coming out now. And he says, well, what do you mean, sir? And I said, well, I remember when I lived in Hannibal County, there was a girl in my room that had a hook for a hand. It was a hook. Because her arm was gone. She just had a little hook. And I said, I watched guys, I took up for her, but I watched guys constantly pick on her. And I said, I remember they would come up behind her while the teacher's back was turned, while she's writing on the board, and they would hit her and knock on her. And when she would turn around, the teacher would turn around and see her and would punish her for what those guys are doing. And I said, my daughter is not a liar. And there's other people that seen this and told me. Said, those guys are pulling on her hair. They're pulling on her clothes. They're picking on her. And at the time, her face was flat because she hadn't had that surgery yet. I said, they're calling all kinds of names. They're hitting on her, punching her. And when she turns around and do something, that's when the bus driver looks up and sees it. I said, so unless you have any objections, I suppose we just drop this right now. And he said, Mr. Linton, he said, I understand where you're coming from. And he said, don't worry, it's all taken care of. She can get back on the bus this afternoon.
Did they deal with the boys?
They dealt with the boys. They did a whole bunch of stuff. There was a whole bunch of stuff happened because of this. That was for good best. But again,
And that'll go with her.
yeah.
That goes with
Oh, yeah. And so she knows Daddy was there to help her. But also, I knew her good enough to know that she wouldn't do that. She'll talk now. If it's for talking, yes, Lord. She would have to walk to school every day for talking. If it's for being late, she'd have to go to school, walk to school every day. But for fighting, there ain't no way. Not her. And so I did talk to her last night. She told me to tell everybody that she loved them. I didn't talk to her Christmas. They said they let her talk to me at Christmas, but she didn't. She talked to me last night. And she's supposed to call tonight and said she'll be there for her mother. Talk to her mother. If she does happen to call this phone, I'll put her on loudspeaker and all y'all can talk to her. But she's enjoying herself. She says it is different. And I said, okay, different's good.
Is it strict?
Well, the first place she went to, there was, I think I told y'all this, there was 80 women and or girls. In her room, there was, I think she had 6 roommates, and some of them were 70 years old.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Good gosh.
And they had different kind of rules, and her counselor took care of her, but her counselor went out for double hip surgery, and when she got an intern, things changed. And so she got three disciplinary actions. And so in 1 week, which is not for anything bad, it's like bringing too many clothes, number 1. Number 2, sleeping in class. Number 3, when her friend got dismissed, she, instead of going to do her work, she went and cried. But those 3 things. I mean, it weren't like she was trying to hide drugs and trying to go get, no. It was 3 innocent little things. But they said 3 and said, we've been giving you slack. So the place where she got sent to had animals. It was on a farm. She absolutely loved it, and they were more Christ-centered. The other place was still Christ-centered, but more toward AA and NA. This place was more Christ-centered with NA and AA involved in it. And she loved it, but it was temporary. Where she's at now is Christ-centered, and she's with, I forgot to ask her how many, she's with between 6 and 12 girls only. And they're in the top, the ground level. The bottom level has a daytime thing for ladies and mothers, and then across the street is alternative housing, and that's a whole bunch of other women over there. But Bethany's in a smaller program, and she told me, the woman told me, she said, Mr. Linton, she's not going to be, they're not going to get on her if she brings too many clothes, and she falls asleep in class, and she does it. She said, I mean, we've got to be righteous, but there was no mercy. She said that shouldn't even happen. I said, well, it did, but I believe it happened so we could get her here. And so, yeah. So God's just, God is fair. To some he gave brains, to others he gave hair.
He works in mysterious ways as one is merciful.
That's right. So merciful, compassionate. The Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. If you'll notice, whenever before Jesus healed anybody, it always said, what did it say? He had compassion on me. You cannot see, and here's where a lot of people miss it too. These guys, these preachers, and a lot of Christians, they leave out the merciful, compassionate part. They're ready to tie you to a string and pull you behind them like a June bug. They're ready to beat you up if you're not living right. But at the same time, they forget Jesus. Now, Jesus was tough on the religious folk, but when it comes to the folk that weren't religious, he was awesome, compassionate, gracious, and righteous. Yeah, so again, God is gracious. It is he who makes things right, our most compassionate God. God takes the side of the helpless. When I was at the end of my rope, he saved me. I said to myself, relax and rest. God has showed you blessings. So, since he's merciful, I know that he has compassion for me even when I fail. How many here has failed? We fail every day. And if you think you don't fail every day, that's your first failure. if you had to go by the Mosaic law and the Levitical law, it was written, I'm not talking about the ones that the Sadducees and the Pharisees added. I'm talking about just the ones that are in the book of Leviticus. Leviticus, if you had to go by that law, every last one of us, at one time or another, would have been stoned. Okay? So none of us are righteous, no, not one. We have to, because even when I fail, though, His mercy endures forever.